Hello people, welcome back to Beauty Jam. Today I'm going to be doing my hospital experience. This is basically what I experienced going to hospital. Now, I'm not going to tell you the exact reason why I went to hospital because that's very private medical information and I just don't want to share that online, so excuse the fact that I'm not telling you exactly what was wrong with me, but this is just kind of like my experience of how it all happened. So I started getting this pain around June-ish. I'm very much the type of person to be like, it's nothing, leave it, whatever, painkillers, let's go, I'm very much that type of person. I hate doctors and anything like that. I don't like going, so I will avoid that at all costs. But this pain started to get worse and worse to the point where hot water bottles and painkillers were no longer working and I was in agony. I could hardly walk. It was terrible, right? And I had to go to the doctors. And he was like, well, kind of examining, pressing the pain, blah, blah, blah. Asked me a bunch of medical questions. Blah, 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 as you do. You know how it is at the doctors. And then he says, we're going to have to send you for a scan. So I was like, okay then. So that was June-ish. I went for a scan. Oh, no. He says we're going to have to send you for a scan and I'm going to have to put you in for a blood test. And I was like, flip, blood test already? Oh my, this is why I don't like doctors and places like that. They just love to take your flipping blood, right? So I was booked in for a blood test and I says, well, I'm on holiday. This because I was going to Ibiza. I says, I'm on holiday next week. And he says, well, we can get you in for this week then. And I was like, flipping great, so I was trying to get out of it. But it didn't work. I went for my blood test, everything was fine. My nurse told me about some cream, Emla cream. I used it a lot during this process, I will say that. And I used it multi-favourites last month. And I would highly recommend that you get some if you do not like needles. That's all I'm going to say, right? So I went for my blood test, everything was fine. I went for a scan. I don't know whether you've ever been for a scan. It's a bit weird. I've never been for a scan. It's the one that pregnant women have to. It's like the thing that they, kind of swipe. I didn't know what to expect. My mum kind of told me bits, but obviously she had it for pregnancy. I was definitely not pregnant, so I knew it wasn't that. So that was kind of that. I went for a scan and they said, oh, you've got something, you've got this, blah, 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 insert medical word here. So I was like, okay, so what's next? And they were like, well, it's too big to leave because these types of things, what is going on? I've just found my slipper. Sorry, the postman's just been, and I've lost my slipper, and I've just found it. It's underneath the settee, so I'm happy that I've just found my slipper. Where was I? Where was I? See, this is just it. When someone disturbs me, I can't think where I was. Where was I? Oh, it says these types of things that women get. He says these types of things that people get. He says that people can have them and not know that they've got them, and they just come and go, disappear throughout your life, and you'll never know that you have them. This is because they're just little things, He says, but for some reason mine grew and grew and grew and grew to the point where it's painful, So basically, he said I needed to have it removed, but he was going to send me for another scan, which is an MRI. No, I don't know whether you've ever had an MRI. I've never had any of these things. So I went for, this was at the hospital. Oh no, wait, I'm jumping ahead way too far. He transferred me to the hospital to speak to a consultant, and the consultant was the one that said the MRI. Sorry about that. So I went to a hospital, which was an hour and a half drive from me, which was annoying. But they didn't have what I needed at my local hospital, so I had to go there. And I went for an MRI. I don't know whether you've ever been for an MRI, but it's like a big tube. I'll insert a picture. This is it. It's like a big tube, and you have to lie down and they strap you in. You feel like you're being restrained or something, but it's just all part of it. They kind of strap you in and they put pads on you, and they kind of glide you in slowly, and then you sit there and they take photos of you, you know, whatever. Can't wear any metal in there because obviously it's all magnets and stuff, radio waves and things, so no metal, no wedding rings, no earrings, no nothing like that. So I went there and I had that. Oh, she said she wanted to give me a needle because where they needed to take the photo, my intestines, which are all here, were in the way, so she needed to give me a needle to slow my intestines down. It's crazy what they can do. I refused because I didn't have my cream on and I was already having a bad day. So I just wanted to say, if you ever go to a medical place, don't just accept things just because they're telling you that you need it. Because I asked her, I was like, well, is the needle necessary? And she said no. So I was like, well, I don't want it then, you know? So I didn't say it funny, but I was just like, oh, please, no. I was begging, basically. And she totally understood, and she sat me down and basically said that she had a needle phobia when she was younger, but when she had children it kind of went, you know. So I'm really glad. They really do make you feel at ease, because that was one of the things that I always worried about, because I was always around strangers, you know, because I always go to these things on my own, so I'm a little bit... my mum drops me off, but I kind of, once you go through those double doors, you are on your own. And that's kind of the thing that puts me on edge, because it's kind of like I don't have a support network here. But they do make you feel at ease. Sorry for this noise, I'm leaning on a box. And that kind of happened. I went home, and then I got a recall for the MRI. Oh, the MRI lasted an hour, by the way. You have to lie there for an hour. They do put music on for you, which is nice. Mine was classical. It was nice and relaxing. I think I fell asleep, to be honest. It didn't feel like an hour. And they kind of talk to you through the thing to ask you to breathe, you know. Yeah, so anyway, I got a recall, and I was panicking because I was thinking it's because I didn't have that flipping injection. Now they've recalled me. But apparently it wasn't. It was basically they needed to get a photo from a different angle. So I had 2 MRIs within the space of a month-ish. And anyway, it turns out that I needed an operation. It needed to be removed, else I was going to have more problems later on if I left it. Plus, I was still in pain, so that kind of had to happen. So the week that Spyro came out, I went for a pre-op. That's what they're called. I went for a pre-op. I told them basically all my medical information. There's a lot of medical questions asked. I told them about that, and they basically said everything's fine, you know, you're okay to have the operation. Had a few tests run, as you do. I had an ECG because my heart and stuff, and yeah, everything was fine. That was perfectly fine. And then I was like, okay, and she was like, well, you know, you'll get a letter in the post when your operation date is. Don't eat after 7 a.m, blah blah blah, as you do. So I was ready. I was ready for this operation. I was like, yes, let's do this. I'm going to get a letter. I'm going to be fine. Blah, blah, blah. Then the week after I finally filmed Spyro, as you would know, because I missed the weekend because that's when I had the pre-op. So I missed that weekend, but I finally filmed Spyro. And then on the 28th of November, I went to bed perfectly fine, right? I woke up in excruciating pain. I couldn't move, I couldn't get up, I couldn't do anything. I went downstairs, I managed to hobble downstairs. I know I said I couldn't get up, but I'm the type to just push through the pain, you know, so I managed to hobble downstairs, and I thought, let me get a painkiller and a banana, because you can't take painkillers on empty stomach, and I'd literally just woke up. So I ate literally that much banana, and I shoved the painkiller inside the banana, and I just swallowed it. Well, not the banana, I chewed the banana, but the painkiller, I just put it in and then I swallowed it, right? Didn't work, pain wasn't going. I couldn't lift anything, I felt like crying. I just couldn't do anything. It was so bad. I lay back in bed, I told my mum, I literally can't. She did me a lot of hot water bottles, placed them around. And then I got up to go to the toilet, because obviously when you wake up you need the toilet. So I went to the toilet and I was sick, so bad, and I could see the banana and the painkiller, like bits of painkiller in it, and I thought, I haven't dissolved the painkiller, what am I going to do now, because I can't take another one because you're not supposed to overdose and stuff. So I lay in bed, hot water bottle, I could not move. It was so bad. I couldn't sleep. I kept getting up to be sick. I kept being sick. I couldn't keep food down. I couldn't keep water down. I couldn't keep anything down. This was literally like a week after the pre-op, you know. So I told my mum, I said, please, can we just call 111, get some advice, whatever. I don't know what to do. My body is literally just, you know, where your body just it's weird, like your body can just tell you, I can't deal with this. Do you know what I mean? It was one of those moments where my brain was kind of registering with my body that I can't deal with this, you know? So we phoned 111, told them about the pre-op and blah, blah, blah. And she kind of says, well, if you're not keeping food down, then you need to go and see your doctor today, like as soon as possible. So I rang my doctor up and he squares me in as an emergency, and he said I need to go to hospital because obviously they can't run tests at the GP surgery that I needed. I needed to go to the hospital. He said, I'm going to call you an ambulance, and I said it's okay, I can make my own way to the hospital, because I needed to get like an overnight bag because I hadn't got anything ready. So I went back home, I got an overnight bag, kind of threw things in, and I got my Emla cream because I need that, and I got my cling film and stuff. I shoved it all in a bag and I went to hospital. This was about 5 p.m. I went to A&E with my letter from my doctor and they put me through. Again, medical questions a lot, and then I went through to the phlebotomist, whatever that is. They're the people that take your blood anyway. And I had to have a blood test and I had to have a cannula put in. I'd already got my Emla cream on, so I was well prepared, might I add. And they couldn't find my vein, which was my worst nightmare, so I'm very glad I had the cream on. He was this arm, everywhere, this arm, everywhere. He even tried this hand to get the blood, couldn't get the blood. And he said, because you haven't been drinking, your veins obviously aren't as vibrant, let's say, you know. And I told him, well, I haven't been drinking because I can't keep it down, you know, I keep being sick. And he nodded and he said, I understand. He said it's just a bit more difficult. But he managed to get it in the end. It was a very slow procedure, but he managed to get it in the end. Blood test came back fine, just a bit dehydrated, which he says is to be expected. So they put me on fluids, which was obviously the cannula in the hand. I then had to take a pregnancy test, which I don't know whether other women feel like this, but when you like go to a medical place and they ask you to take a pregnancy test, do you still get nervous? Because I get really nervous. I'm like, what if it comes back positive? And blah, 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 blah. But like obviously you know, like you could have had your period, you could be on your period or something, and you're just kind of like, but I'm still panicking. I don't know why. It's anxiety, isn't it? But anyway, it came back negative, like I thought, and that was that. I then had to get transferred to another hospital because the situation that I was in didn't happen at that hospital. They can't do it at the hospital, so I have to be transferred. So then I got an ambulance, take me to the other hospital. And at this point, I was completely on my own. My mum had to go home. She couldn't come with me because that hospital was too far away. And that's the bit that I don't like. I don't like being vulnerable, but I had to do it. I literally had to do it. I thought, no. So I got transferred to a, what was it called? Surgical Assessment Unit, SAU, which was okay. Now let me tell you this. I got there, there was 2 people already in there. The one woman went after about 10 minutes of me arriving. The woman next to me, she was discharging herself. I don't know why, but she basically said that she couldn't stay. And that's her choice, you know, she wants to be discharged, then fine. I was just bothered about the pain that I was in. And then the nurse came to me, she asked me a lot of more questions. She put me on morphine, which, let me tell you something, did nothing. This is how much pain I was in. I was still in pain, and I was thinking, why am I still in pain? I'm on flipping morphine. And yeah, I was still in pain. It wasn't doing anything at all. Then an old lady came in. She was 96. She started talking to me because she heard that because they ask you your date of birth and stuff, and I said the 22nd of January. And she said that she was born in 1922. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know, like 96 years flipping old. And then she started telling me about her husband and that she lost him in World War II, and it was sad, you know. She was my age when World War II was going on, and she lost her husband, and I don't know, I just felt for her, you know. But she was laughing, she was having a joke. Not about that, I mean just with us, you know. And then another woman came in. That woman left, another woman came in, and she was telling people about her issue that she had. I'm not going to go into detail because obviously it's other people's medical information, but basically what she said was she wanted to have a child, and apparently they had left bits, I think she had like a miscarriage or something, and they'd left bits of the baby inside of her stomach. And I was thinking, does this stuff actually happen? Like, what? You know? And I was thinking, okay, glad I'm not you. I mean, it sounds bad, but you know, you think you're having issues, and then you hear other people and you think, oh my gosh. So yeah. And then the millennial snowflake came in, and I'm not talking about me. I thought I was a flipping snowflake. This woman comes in, she's hobbling, right? And she's got a boyfriend with her, which at this point it said on the door that you're not allowed to have people with you, you know, because it's an assessment unit, not a ward. But she had a boyfriend with her, and she was crying, and by crying I mean she was blarting, she was making noises, and I think to myself, like, we're all in flipping pain, you know. I was still in pain, I was on morphine and I was still in pain, like, you know. And I just think sometimes you just need to just deal with it, you know. As much as you are in pain, and yes, I understand, you know, but you need to deal with it because there's nothing anyone can do at the moment. So please just compose yourself and deal with it. But that's just my personality, that's just who I am. So it came to about midnight. The nurse came to see me. She says, there is someone coming to see you, but they're performing an emergency surgery at the moment, so you're going to have to wait. And I was like, okay then, just try and get some sleep, we're going to turn the lights off now. I was like, okay then, so they turned the lights off. This was about midnight. And I went to sleep. No, I didn't. I tried to get to sleep, but the woman opposite me, who was crying, kept crying all night. I am not kidding you. She was blarting. And I could hear her boyfriend saying, you need to calm down now, babe. And I was thinking, as if she's going to calm down, you know? Like, oh, for goodness sake, I was so annoyed. But anyway, I got seen at 2 a.m. and I got transferred to another ward at 3 a.m. It was about 3 a.m. And I got a proper bed that time, which was nice. And that was pretty much it then. I woke up Thursday morning. And I had forgotten where I was. It was kind of, you know, where you wake up and you're not where you should be. It was one of those weird feelings, but then I remembered, obviously, the pain came straight back once I woke up, and that was that. I then got sore Thursday. A lot of things happened, a lot of questions, a lot of waiting around, well, lying around because I was in a lot of pain. Painkillers got dispensed. They give you 4 painkillers at a time. Honestly, I was thinking, should I be taking all these together? I was obviously in hospital for the Thursday, but during the day you've obviously got not a lot to do, so it was very much a lot of lying around and stuff. I asked the woman, I was like, can I have a toothbrush, because obviously I hadn't brushed my teeth, and she gave me like a little collector's pack. She gave me a towel, which you have to give back. She gave me a dressing gown that you have to wear that's like the back's open, and she also gave me a Sir Scrub. This is antibacterial body wash. It's actually empty now because I've used it all, and you have to use this before an operation because it's got no perfumes or anything like that in. So she gave me that to use. I wasn't allowed to use anything else. And after my operation, it's antimicrobial whole body wash, and you can use it in your hair as well. I've had to use this since my operation. She just says use this until it's gone. So stitches and stuff has been washed with this. So she gave me that. She also gave me a toothpaste, because you're not allowed to use normal toothpaste because you're about to have an operation. It's crazy. So you get given like a toothpaste. It's not very nice. It doesn't taste like mint, so it's not very nice. But it does the job. It cleans your teeth, but it is mild. It's very mild. She also then gave me a toothbrush, which I only used whilst I was in hospital. Once I got back, I used my normal toothbrush, but they do give you a toothbrush. And then I asked her whether she could have a comb. Yeah, that's what they gave me. Like, no offence to the staff or anything, they get what they're given and they give it to me. Does this look like it's gonna flipping comb my flipping hair? It's not even combing it now, and I've brushed this. Are you actually kidding me? They're joking, they're having a joke. Honest. So, my mum, I messaged her and I says, if you come tonight, can you please bring my hairbrush, please, because I cannot use this. And then my mum did come, but I was in surgery still, so she had to stay, and they let her stay, which I want to thank the hospital for letting my mum stay after visiting time, because I couldn't be there, you know. So, yeah. They put me in for emergency surgery on the Thursday evening at 5:30. So I went for surgery, and then it was all done. I was happy that it was all done, but I was a little bit, it just all happened so quick, you know. The surgery lasted about 4 hours, and I'm now left with the stitches. And then Friday came, and I had to have a scan again, because they have to check that they haven't left any instruments in you, which just sounds crazy, but it happens, you know. So they have to scan, and then I got sent home Friday. So I spent 3 days in hospital, 2 nights, 3 days. And I went home about 8 p.m. on the Friday night. And to be honest, it's been okay, you know. General anaesthetic was fine. They kind of just talked to me. I don't even remember it. They were just talking to me. The guy who was my anaesthetist, he looked a bit like Ed Sheeran. So it was like Ed Sheeran was giving me general anaesthetic. It looked like Ed Sheeran. So yeah. And I just remember just kind of, he was talking to me, and then I was just asleep. Like, I don't remember. And then the next thing I know, this nurse is calling my name, and she's like rubbing my hand, this hand that didn't have the cannula in. And that was it. I was like, oh, it's done. A lot of people say that when they have general anaesthetic, that they go to sleep and then they wake straight back up. I didn't. I have an element, well, it's kind of difficult to explain, but I kind of have a memory of just blackness in between those 2 points. Obviously I did fall asleep, and obviously I didn't feel anything, but I do have an element of blackness there, so I don't know why that is, but I did. And anyway, I got home, and I've been on the settee ever since, and my stitches still haven't healed, and blah blah blah. I have one about that big at the bottom of my stomach, and I have 2 either side of my belly button, and I have 1 on my belly button that goes down, and it's very painful. I can't sit down properly, I can't sneeze properly. It's amazing how much your stomach actually does that you don't realise. Coughing and sneezing hurt, laughing for the first week, like really laughing, not just giggling, laughing for the first week and a half kind of hurt. Which didn't help because I was watching a lot of YouTube, and YouTubers make me laugh, you know, so that was a bit like, you know, so yeah, but I'm getting better now, and that's kind of it. That's all that happened. I hope my camera's still recording. Yeah, it is. So yeah, that's it. And I got my letter to say I was discharged completely, So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. This was just kind of to let you all know what happened, why I couldn't plan things, why I was missing uploads, and blah blah blah. It was just because because that weekend I filmed Spyro, and then the weekend after I was supposed to film main channel for about a month and a half, so that I could just edit and upload whilst I was ill, because I knew when my operation date was. It was mid-December. So I was okay. I was thinking, yeah, I can film Spyro there, film main channel there, film Spyro again, and then I'll be good till about mid-Feb. But obviously it didn't happen like that, so I didn't get the time to prep, which I apologise for, but it had to be done. So yeah, thank you for supporting me. Thank you for sticking around and understanding. And I promise that now we're back. We're back now. I'm filming and we're good. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then make sure you give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments below if you have any hospital stories. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe for more videos from me. And I'll see you next time. Bye!